Oh, I got a harpoon right in my chest.
Oh, no, it's not. It's a beer from Harpoon Brewery. Today, we're looking at the Tailgater Fall Variety Pack.
All right, so we got the Tailgater Variety Pack here. It looks like it's intended for having fun with your friends in the fall time.
Harpoon Brewery is in Massachusetts and Vermont.
So we have the sampler, which includes 4 different varieties. We have the Rec League Light Hazy IPA.
We got the Flannel Friday, which is an amber ale.
The Harpoon IPA.
And then one Oktoberfest that didn't make it in our review, the Harpoon Oktoberfest. So we're excited to try that.
So first we got the Rec League.
So this is a 4% IPA. So we got 4 different hops, the tropical varieties. So we got Citra, Mosaic, Euconaut, and Cascade. So I'm expecting some pungent tropical notes on the nose, so let's give it a nose. Pineapple, papaya, and mango off the bat. It is swinging heavy with that. And then the grapefruit kind of comes in at the end, that nice acidic grapefruit note to it. So let's try it out.
Woo! Very light.
That is very light. It's almost weak light.
Yeah, I was like, what? Is there anything there? Like,
I feel like this is hop water. The nose is just so like in your face, and then you're drinking it and it just tastes like watered down beer.
I think this is probably for the Rec League. It's for an activity.
But we should note it's 120 calories, which is good for a beer. So if you're counting calories, there is flavor here. It's just, it isn't a beer that you would normally think of, an IPA having that body to it. There's no body.
Yeah, and we're drinking this like at cellar temperature. It's like 55 to 60 degrees, so it is cool. But if this was ice cold, I think it would be perfect.
Overall, I would give it like a 5 out of 10. You know, it wouldn't be my go-to if I was just buying beer, but maybe if it was like, okay, yeah, we're out doing an activity.
I wouldn't even give it a 5. If 5 is average, I'd give it a 4 because I've had better sessions than this. Calorie counting, though, this does have a stated calorie count of only 120 calories, so that might make it worth it to people to grab it, but there are better session IPAs out there.
Beer Advocate, they like it. They gave it an 84 with 95 ratings. So not a ton of ratings, but they still seem to like it a lot. All right, next up we've got the Flannel Friday, which seems to be inspired by fall days in New England. The perfect beer to bust out on a Friday when everyone apparently in New England puts on their flannel. I think it's a law up there. It's like you gotta wear flannel on Fridays or you'll get arrested. So this is a hoppy amber ale. It looks like a, your typical amber ale.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how the hops play in if it's a hoppy amber ale.
This is a kind of an emerging new style, kind of getting like really aromatic, but really kind of that malty base to it. So it's kind of a blend of 2 different worlds.
It's got 5.7% alcohol, and then in terms of IBUs, the bitterness, 35. So it's less than the IPA here, which I believe is 42. So I'm interested to see.
And the hops here are Citra, Simcoe, and Cascade, for all of you keeping score at home.
All right.
Interesting. It's like bread. Malty bread, like brown bread.
Yeah, you don't get too much of the hops on the nose. It's the amber coming through.
I would say, though, that it is hoppier than if you just had like a plain amber ale.
Yeah.
The malt is more prominent, but the hops are there more than in your like Vienna lager or whatever.
Yeah, the nose finishes with hops, I think.
That's actually very pleasant.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's so this does tend more on the amber side, so it does have it feels very fall. This is a very fall kind of beer. Yeah, it's a solid amber. There's nothing in there that's like wowing me, but this is very drinkable. So what's the percentage on this?
5.7. So it's a fairly drinkable, like you're not gonna be passed out on the floor. To me, so amber ale is probably my favorite style of beer. I love Fat Tire and Devil's Backbone Vienna Lager, and this is definitely hoppier than those, which lends to it. It's a bit more balanced. It doesn't have as much of maybe the syrupiness or the heavier mouthfeel of your typical amber ale, but I don't know if I like it as much. I think it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But I think I prefer just a straightforward amber ale to a hoppy amber ale.
For what it's trying to do, kind of sitting in this sort of nuanced category of like an IPA amber, a hoppy amber, I'd say this is a solid 6. It's above average. It's brewed very well. It's clean. It's good on the palate. And it's refreshing.
I agree, Dylan. 6 out of 10. It's a good beer. Doesn't blow me away, but I enjoyed it.
I'll give it a 6.5. I'll just give it a little more. To me, it is, it's straddling that line between an IPA and an amber, and I would just rather it be one or the other. But being not much of an IPA fan, I'd rather have this. I like it. That's why I give it 6.5. Now, if we look at the people on Beer Advocate, they've given this an 86. They love it. They're going crazy for it over at Beer Advocate. This is with 197 ratings, but interestingly, this ranks it at number 64 in all amber/red ales, like American-style amber and red ales on Beer Advocate, which seems to me like really high.
Next, we have the Harpoon Oktoberfest, which was one of their first seasonal releases they ever did in the late 80s, and it's been sticking around 30+ years, going strong. Excited to try this. This is an American-style Märzen.
Oh, that is a lovely color there. So that is, again, that kind of reddish. It looks very akin to the amber ale.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's a Märzen on the nose.
Big aroma there.
Smells like Oktoberfest.
Yeah, and it reminds me more of the German ones that we tried rather than the American.
Yeah, this is kind of much like the Eyinger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of those big bready, like brown bread notes. So let's get a taste.
Alrighty.
I like that. It doesn't blow me away. What's your reaction, Frank?
It has like a really long finish. Do you guys get that?
No, I just started getting it. That's super interesting.
It like blooms in your mouth. It's like it starts off regular Oktoberfest, and it's like boom, and it's like this like weirdly late long finish.
It's like toasty.
Yeah, the body to it though, if we're comparing it to like our winter Great Lakes, the body is much less.
Yeah,
I'd say. I don't think this would have made the top 2 in our video, but
it would have been close.
It would have been up there.
Yeah, this is a lower percentage. I think it's 5.3. It has a good amount of flavor. It doesn't coat the mouth like others did.
Yeah.
But it's still very enjoyable.
Yeah. No, again, you'd know you're drinking Oktoberfest with it. Perfect for an Oktoberfest party.
I give it a big thumbs up. Very drinkable. Definitely a solid Märzen style beer.
I put this at a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, me too.
This is the best one so far out of this pack.
I agree. I would say 7.5 out of 10. And if it were to have been in our Oktoberfest video, it might have cracked the top 5. Like in terms of flavor, excellent Oktoberfest Märzen flavor. But I think the one ding it has is that maybe the mouthfeel, the body is a little bit thinner than you might want from an Oktoberfest. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Like this is a great option. Like you don't sacrifice flavor, and you reduce a little bit of the ABVs. Maybe you can make this something you have a few more of than you would normally in Oktoberfest. Maybe it doesn't leave you feeling as like bloated and like, oh, I can't believe a drink. Okay, so Beer Advocate gives this an 83, so it's, that's a pretty good rating with about 750 reviews. This is around like 250 in their ranking of Oktoberfest beers.
And also take into account this being part of the Tailgater 4-pack, I think it's an excellent addition. It's definitely the highlight so far.
All right, so last but not least is the Harpoon IPA, which has the distinction of New England's first IPA coming to the market in 1993 because apparently they ran out of malt. And they're like, I guess we throw this in the vat, see what happens. They don't give us a hop profile, and I think that they're playing that close to the vest. I don't blame them if this is their flagship. So right off the bat, if we look at this is just kind of a little touch more gold than the Rec League was.
Yeah.
Also not hazy, very clear.
Yes.
This has more maltiness to it.
Yeah, it's not the hoppiest hop that ever hopped.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like these two are two sides to the same coin looking in different directions. So this might be kind of that kind of multi IPA with a little more IPA in it. So I have never had this before. I know this is pretty popular, but I've never had the Harpoon IPA, right, so I'm interested to see.
Let's give it a shot.
Alrighty.
That tastes like this is the first IPA on the market. And that's not bad. It's definitely like we brew beer with malted barley. Here's a malted barley, and then we threw hops in to give it a bit of bitterness. But this is not by any means a bitter, juicy IPA at all. This is a very approachable one for people who don't like IPAs. This would be a very approachable drink, and I can see why they still brew it.
Not in a bad way, but this would be like your dad's IPA. It's also for people who are new to drinking beer, and if you want to try an IPA, but you're afraid of the bitterness, get this.
This is just a very kind of easy drinking American beer, almost kind of in the same way that a gold ale is kind of that, or a blonde ale is that kind of easy drinking American style. This has that kind of multi-character, a touch of bitterness at the end, and it's an IPA.
And that's one of the reasons I love this, is because it is just an IPA. It is not a double IPA, it's not a hazy IPA, it's not a West Coast, East Coast, North, South. It is just it is just an IPA,
yeah.
Which is cool. And I think maybe that goes back to what you were saying about the Flannel Friday. It's like an amber ale with hops. It's almost like people want to go back to the olden days of IPAs. They want that just, it's hoppy a little bit, and it's great, and it's easy to drink, doesn't burn your face off.
I would give this a solid, I'll give it a 7. I like it a lot. You know, I'm not a huge IPA drinker. I do enjoy IPAs from time to time, but I like this one a lot. This is just like, hey, it's an IPA. We want you to enjoy drinking it. So I like it. It's classic. 7 out of 10 to me.
I would agree with that. 7 looks good. I prefer their Oktoberfest over this, so I would, and I put that at 7.5. So I'd say this is solid 7. I would agree with that.
All right, so Beer Advocate, the people over there give this an 82, which I think that's fair, but it's got a lot of ratings. This beer has 3,000 ratings, so a lot of people have had it over the years. That makes sense. It's rated number 64 out of all IPAs, so it's pretty solid, pretty high up there
considering how many IPAs there are.
So big question, would you go out and buy the Tailgater variety pack from Harpoon?
I would say that I enjoyed everything. I don't feel the fall. I mean, I feel like 2 of the 4 beers are fall, and that's half of the pack. So if 2 of your 4 seasonal fall beers are not fall-like, I feel like it's missing the point of being a seasonal variety pack.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was going into it thinking like heavier beer.
Yeah.
But I think you hit something on the head. It is called the Tailgater pack. I feel like this is for people with an active lifestyle. If you're going to the softball league games and you're like, man, I need to pick a variety pack of beer, I think this is great because all of these are easy drinking.
I would agree with you guys. I would not get this just to have like at home, but Tailgater, if I was gonna be tailgating, if I was having a party to watch the game, if I was actually tailgating at a game, or if I was doing the rec league, softball, whatever, I would get that for all your friends because there's a lot of variety here, and there's something in here for everyone. So I think that's the appeal of this Tailgater. You have a bunch of people, you're trying to appeal to a lot of different tastes, but not overpower anybody, and have a lot of drinkable session beers.
I think the consensus is this is not necessarily the most fall themed variety pack, but it is a great variety pack.
This is the best to our least favorite in order, just coincidentally,
Thank you for joining us. Let us know in the comments if you've had the variety pack or have had these individually, what you think about them. And join us next time, won't you?